Alright, the stuff that we're looking at today, shh, be quiet, get going here. The stuff that we're looking at today, we looked at before the break with the Yay Math guy. So we're going to review over that and talk about the stuff that he talked about, rewriting stuff from log form to exponential form and back and forth. We did exponential form before the break. That's just when you got an exponent in your power. So stuff that we know here that you've got in your notes that we're going to write again. If we had, just told me it was connected, there we go. If we have b to the e is equal to n, that would be considered exponential form. I could rewrite that in log form by writing log base b of n is equal to e. That's your log form. Okay, so we're going to go back and forth between exponential and log form, rewriting stuff. The b, the e, and the n are the same in both of those. So you got to know where to put stuff and where to use stuff at. Okay, everybody remember, see that? Got that? We'll start off pretty simple. It's pretty easy stuff. It's just new, and so sometimes that takes that a little bit longer to stick. If I had something that said log base 2 of 16 is equal to 4. Alright, that says log base 2 of 16 is equal to 4. Is that considered logarithmic form or exponential form? Jody's the only one that can tell if that's log form or exponential form? No. Okay, very good. It's got a log in it, that's log form. That's how hard that question was, right? So everybody's woke up and ready to roll with that now. So since that's in log form, we want to rewrite it in exponential form, which means I need to know what my base number is. What's the b in that? 2. What's the e?
4.
Very good. And then the n? And that's it. Now you can check that and make sure that's right. Does 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 equal 16? Of course it does. Easy schmeezy. Okay, little baby steps on that stuff. This one's kind of cool. Log base 4 of 1 is equal to 0. Okay, on your own real fast, rewrite that into exponential form. Rewrite it into exponential form. Got it? What'd you get, Jody? Very good. And we've talked before, and you have in all your other math classes, that anything to the 0 power always equals 1. So if this is a 0, this will always be a 1. That's how that rolls on that. Very good. Alright, let's look at this one. I got log base 12 of 12 is equal to 1. Do that one real fast. Write that in exponential form. Getting these pretty easy yet?
Are they always going to be in the same order? Like
yes.
That?
Well, they could put the 1 on the front if they wanted to. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like this one is, like these two are set up the same exact way.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that could be different is they could write 1 equals log base 12 of 12. That's the only thing it could be. But this would still be your b, this would still be your n, and this would still be your e. Alright, Dalton, what'd you write in exponential form?
12. 1 equals 12.
Very good. And that ought to make perfect sense to you. 12 to the first does equal 12. Easy schmeezy on that. Very good. Okay, so those were all log form and we wrote an exponential. Now we're going to go the other way. I'm going to give you exponential and we're going to write in log form. So first one says, I'm going to give you several of these. 5 squared equals 25. It's obviously a true statement. 10 to the negative 1 equals 0.1. It's a point there, and then one more. 6 to the negative 3 equals 1 over 216. Alright, so these three are in exponential form, and you're going to rewrite them in log form. So let's do number 1 together real quick. If I'm writing in log form, I got to have log. What's the base? What's my B? 5. Good, Connor. What's the N? 25. And what's the E? 2. So we didn't solve anything. There was no variable to figure out. We just rewrote it. Okay, see if you can do that for the last 2. Okay, go. Doesn't matter that they got negatives. Do it the same way. Rewrite them into log form. Okay, on the first one there, what's your base? 10, good. What's your number? 0.1, Connor's got it, equals negative 1. How'd you do? Logs will always equal the exponent. That's the whole purpose in a log function, to be able to solve for an exponent. Okay, so on the last one, it's got log base what? 6 at a kid of?
1 over 216.
Thank you, Chloe. Equals? Yes, ma'am. Good job. You just schmooze it. Alright, now we're going to use that to actually solve. Okay, so if I had log base 4 of 64. Log base 4 of 64. Alright, what's the missing? That's it. So there's something missing. What's missing? Your B, your E, or your N? I heard 2 different answers. E is what's missing. Okay, so I'm saying I could rewrite this as saying 4 to the what power equals 64. Right? Isn't that what that means? Now that's an easy one that we can figure out. 4 to the first is 4. 4 squared is 16. 4 cubed, 64. So our x would be 3. Alright, now, our calculators can do that for us also. But we got to know a little bit about how to type it in. So find you a working calculator, and Santa did bring me some batteries, but I hadn't had time to put them in yet. Find you a working calculator. Now look over on the far left first off at the log button. It just says LOG. When there's no base written, like on that far left of your calculator, that's an understood base 10. Okay, so right now if I went over to the far left and I hit that log button, it would do me no good because my base is 4. That's an understood base 10. That's called common log. Common log has a base 10. And if it's not written, it's an understood base 10. Most of the time in math, if things aren't written, it's an understood 1. In logs, it's an understood 10. So that button doesn't do me any good. So to get to change my base, I hit math. And I scroll it all the way down until I see it say log base. Keep going, Crystal. Looks like it's letter A on Crystal's. Y'all see it down there at the bottom? Pick that, and then you can just fill the blanks in. They need help finding that?
So you
Hit math. And then scroll down till it says log. Keep going. So it says log base. Right there. Pick enter. Now just fill in those blanks. We had a 4. Yeah, 64.
I'm moving. I'm gonna move
That's
to
it.
Canada.
You got it.
I'm sorry. Yes. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I have 2 logs on here. How do I have 2 logs on here? Look, it says log.
I don't know.
I said
Don't, no,
log.
whoa, don't push that first log.
Oh.
Just hit math.
That's why I have 2 logs. I pushed log and now I went.
She said I got one log.
It's 30, by the way.
Thank you.
I think it's kind of weird how we're starting on a Wednesday. Like, why didn't we just wait till Monday?
We would have had to have went longer. Like, that's why the schools that are still out, they went that whole week when we got out early.
Oh, hey, did you get that packet for those things we're doing
Mhm.
during snow days?
Mm-hmm.
That's goofy.
I like it. I want it.
I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure who it was. I'm probably already from 0.
Did somebody already give you one, Chloe, or you just heard about it?
Oh no, Mr. Osborne explained it to us.
He didn't give you one yet?
Give us what?
The packet. Did he give it to you yet?
We get a packet too?
Well, that's what did he tell you he was going to do?
Oh, he just explained it like.
Our first period just explained it. He didn't give us any paper.
Well, we had to give it out by Friday. But the way I understood it is I can just put it on Classroom,
Yeah.
but then if you don't have internet, you need a copy of it. So kind
He
of
told us that if we didn't have internet, he was just gonna, like, well, he said he was gonna make a doc of it, but then we were
Yeah.
like, well, then we have to get it the day before we're out, but we won't know.
They're supposed to give them out Friday,
Out.
and you're supposed to keep up with it.
Oh, give us all the assignments?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's weird, but okay. Then yeah, that's actually really smart. I like it.
Yeah. It's the easy stuff.
Because you get to stay at home and do work. It's like going against the counts in school day. I'd rather stay at home than be here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get stressed. What?
Alright, that says log base 5 of 0.2. Number 1 says log base 5 of 0.2. Number 2 says log base 1/5 of 125. And number 3 says log base 36 of 6. Just like the previous one that we just did, you can use your calculator or you can rewrite it in exponential form. I want you to see if you can figure out the E in all of those.
Is that a 0.2?
Yes. Hello. I'm good. How are you? Uh-huh. Right. Okay, where are you? Right, are you on your way already, or where are you?
I got 3. What'd you get on the
Okay, you went way too far. Back up. It's the second house on the right, and it's a log cabin, and you'll be able to see it from the road. Yeah, I'm on the same side of the road as that foundation, but I'm back up towards the railroad tracks. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Is your house done?
No, but it's close. The energy guy's trying to find it right now to hook the power up. Bet that might lose my connection on here. Yep. Of course. log base 5 of 0.2. Landon, what'd you get on it? -1. And that's good, and that makes a lot of sense to me because that means that I would rewrite this as 5 to the -1 equals 0.2. 5 to the -1 is 1 over 5. 1 over 5 is the same as 2/10. So -1. And now, I know you didn't do all that, but that's just a common sense way to check it. Okay? What'd you get on the second one, Molly?
Did you say what x equals?
Yeah.
-3.
-3. Anytime you're going from fractions to whole numbers like that, or see 0.2 is actually a fraction, you can expect a negative because something had to get flipped at some point. So I could say 1/5 to the -3rd, and that means I would flip it and make it 5 to the 3rd. And 5 to the 3rd is 125. So Molly is correct there. The third one was probably my favorite one. What'd y'all get on it? 0.5 or 1/2, either one of those would work. The reason I wanted to write it as 1/2 because a 1/2 power is the same as square rooting something. Square root of 36 is 6, but 0.5 is correct, and I'd take that also. So good job on that. All right, I told you a common log has a base 10. We have something called a natural log also. Natural log has a base with the number e. Not e as an exponent, that number e that we talked about before the break that we used on our bell ringer. And that, when you have log base e, that's when you're going to see ln. That stands for natural log. And there is an ln button on your calculator over there right underneath the log button. Okay, it's called a natural log. So if I asked you to find the natural log of 0.75. Okay, now first off, just hit that on your calculator for me. Hit ln 0.75 and tell me about what you get. Let's round it to 3 decimal places.
0.288.
So positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative 0.2, that's okay. 88. And that's correct. Easy, we can push those buttons. So what that means is this is the same as e to the negative 0.288 equals 0.75. That's what you actually figured out. Now that's computations that you're never going to have to make. I'm never going to ask you to figure out what that is. I'll just be here and you'll type it in your calculator and be able to give me that answer. Easy enough?
Oh, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
You know how we had to have like the password for the remind thing and all
Mhm.
that? Well, I got a new number, so is there any way you can give me it again?
I will.
Okay.
Phone show. Alright, let's talk about graphing one of these real quick. If I wanted to graph f of x is equal to log base 3 of x. Directions here say to graph. Thoughts on how we would do that?
I don't know how to graph anything,
Yeah, Molly, this is when I'm going to just go straight to the calculator. Normally when I graph, I make an XY table, but there's going to be so many decimals and stuff to mess with on this. I'm just going to go straight to my y equals. They're at the very top. Hit y equals. Then you'll have to hit math. Go down and pick log base. And then our base is 3. And our number is x when we fill those in. Okay, everybody got it?
Wait, how do we just put an X, like one of those, just a letter up there?
Up there on the top, the XT theta button.
That one,
Did you get something that looks kind of like that? Dalton said no. Yeah, you got it there, Lynn. 3. Yeah. then you could, and I saw Jody looking at it, you could go to your table and get some of those points. Then if you needed, you get it, Gabe? And then we had a 3.
Need to push y equals.
Yeah.
And then math.
Right below mode on the second row, next to the green button. Yep. And then just hit graph.
You're so nice.
And then that's it.
Good job, Gabe.
I had a straight on it first. I was like,
Kristen, let me go first to help Austin.
I'm starting to get old.
I know.
that's probably where it is.
Oh, me, come on.
I'll break it down 28 days and like that.
Did you get to see him? Working, no,
Right
working.
here.
My mom.
Well, I guess I get gross and what's like it's 10 spots.
I don't know what it is. I know what it is, but I'm not
You gotta
asking.
do.
I couldn't figure out what was actually wrong.
Like, greetings.
I just rolled everyone down a little bit.
Because I'm so stop. Like, hey. Hey. Put it over. I just want to show you. Tells me you don't miss me. I was
That's what my mom would say.
like, well, mom can. You want to talk about my other shit? She's asleep. I was like, what are you doing? She's like, just watching videos on my phone. Yeah, there's a YouTube video. I was like, okay.
Hey, there's no water bottle up.
We're almost done, just hold on.
Okay,
Okay, listen to these directions. You're fixing to do these 3, and those are hard to read too, so I need you to listen. Number 1, that says 27 to the 4/3 equals 81. Bless you. All I want you to do there is to rewrite that in log form. Don't have to solve it, just rewrite it in log form. 27 to the 4/3 equals 81. Number 2, log base 8 of 2. I want you to actually evaluate that. See what log base 8 of 2 is. EVALUATE. Alright, this third one, I want to see if you can figure it out on your own. That says log base 3 of 27 to the x. The directions just say to simplify. That one might be the hard one. We'll talk about it though when you get done. Okay, you ought to be able to get 1 and 2 for sure. And then we'll talk about number 3 when we get there. I at least got the first 2. Need more time on the first 2? Alright, on the first one, we're just rewriting that in log form. So I'm going to write log, what's the base? 27 of what number? 81 is equal to 4/3. So that's all you had to do on number 1. Everybody good on that? Okay, number 2, we're trying to figure out what log base 8 of 2 actually is. What'd you get? 0.3 repeating, which would be the same as 1/3. How'd you do on that one? Alright, The last one, we didn't do one like that in class yet. It's pretty easy. Let me get a new piece of paper so I got room to show it to you. Log base 3 of 27 to the x. The deal with this is, if we can get these two numbers to be the same, our answer will be whatever is in this spot. Okay, so since we got a base of 3, I wonder if I can rewrite 27 as a 3. Does 3 to some power equal
9.
27? Not 3 times 9, but 3 to the third. Right? So I can say this is the same as log base 3 of 3 to the third, and then that x is still up there. So what I just told you, when these are the same, this is your answer. So our answer would be 3x. That's kind of weird, and you don't see those very often, but that is the log rule. When the base and the number are the same, it's your exponent answer. Okay? What you think? That ring a bell from the Yay Math dude before Christmas? Thanks, Landon. That's very assuring. That video guy we watched with his friend Ben. Were y'all here that day?
Wednesday.
No, that was semester test day, so it was even before that.
Oh, here. I couldn't miss any more next.
All right. So where we'll go with this, what we're going to look at next. We only did one graph, but we got to look at transforming the graphs. So it's pretty easy. We'll look at that tomorrow. Okay.